This is a wee one all about growing up, Margaret.
Aye.
You were outside all the time.
I was outside, I loved outside. And then I grew up and helped Mama to bake and do all the things in the house. Helped Daddy out in the fields. That was good.
Happiness is my 2 daughters coming up, and I have a wee glass of wine, and then next week I'll have a Bailey's. Up here, Phil, is a photograph of the Regal 4 screen.
Oh, the Regal.
Do you remember the Regal?
Oh, I remember the Regal.
And it says, and the writing beside it says, your favourite film was Gone with the Wind.
Aye.
You watched it in the Regal cinema with Greta and your sister Pam.
I went to the cinema every change. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Went to matinee on the Saturday sometimes.
I was only young, started at the time, and I was sent in to the surgical ward to shave this young fellow for going to theatre. And that was the dumb thing. I thought, oh no. I said, Nurse Boyle, I can't do it. She said, you'll get in there now. What have you got in that tray? And she looked, that's all right. Now you'll get in there and just shave that patient. And I had heard that much about different surgeons send back for nurses to go down and shave them properly. And I thought, well, oh God. So I thought, how am I going to do this? And I was shaking, and I thought, we'll put a mask on and that'll cover my face. So when I went, and yeah, I says, young pal, I'm sorry I'll have to shave you down below. I says, don't worry about it, because we do this all the time, don't be embarrassed. And my face, I'm sure it was redder than a tomato.
Oh, where were we going? To a wee shop across the fields. So we went. And then when Mommy went to town, went to Larne, she brought us home with all them extras. And when that time the war was on, there weren't very many sweets.
There's Sammy. And not a broken bone on him that night. He went up the corridor. Oh, it was funny. It really was.
Well, in the springtime, it was lambing's time. What we're at now at the minute, they're very, very busy. And then in the springtime, the cows was calving. So we had cows calving and ewes lambing, and we were very busy. And that was the springtime, and sowing seeds, the corn, and planted potatoes.
On a Sunday night, we would have went down to Cushendall and Carnlough to the dances. You know, and we got a taxi.
Oh, that was a hard, hard teacher. I never forgave her.
Did you get the ruler?
We did, and the stick.
And the stick.
And it was a cane, they called it. It was a cane. Oh, it was hard.
Were you
She
not?
was a terrible one. I seen her laying the blackboard off at the front and come down and catch her and give her a good shaking. She was a terrible, terrible woman. She had a wild temper.
3 of us went to a dance. We were training at the time, and we were supposed to have a pass to 11 o'clock. But the dance was so good that we just stayed to the end, as you do. One girl was to leave her window open first again, but she had forgot. Paddy rang the bell, and it was the tutor came. We got a rollicking, and anyway, she said, well, I'll be reporting this to matron in the morning. You know you're supposed to be in at 11 o'clock. The next morning, you were on the wards for a couple of hours before you went in the classroom. The next thing, nurse told her, you're wanting the matron's office. So down I goes, and there's the other 2 standing outside. And now you'll have to do the talking. I said, what am I going to say? And the sweat breaking me, and I thought, if I get the sack, my mother will kill me. And then you come home.
Well, the summer was, it was nice in the summertime. We had to work hard, and the grass was mowed with 2 horses in my time. And then we went on, and people got better, and money got plentiful, and bought a tractor. And then the farmers helped each other to cut the hay, and then we had to rack it and turn it, and that was good fun.
And the next photograph here, Phil, that's of the promenade and the bathing boxes.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to learn to swim, and a neighbour woman and 2 or 3 other women in the street were all bathers who could swim. And I went, but I was afraid of the water. I would went into the water and paddled about and that, but I never could swim. I was too scared. There was a wee chalet, you see, and you paid tuppence to dress or to undress and put on your bathing costume.
It says below it, there was a girl, Agnes Jingles, who lived
Aye.
above me.
That's right.
And we would go for a walk along the old road, and the Yanks used to whistle at you. Do you remember that
The
story?
Yanks were on we went up on the train, the puffer. We called it the puffer.
Swan Island, and the swans would be swimming in the pond next to it.
You were going up in the puffer and you could see them swimming in the pond. We used to go to Belfast every month. We went and got our photos taken. Then we went in to a cafe and had fish and chips. We didn't go into a restaurant or anything. And we done that every month. And every month I bought my mother a pair of earrings.
Farmers came to help each other. And even when we were wrecking hay and making hay and planting potatoes, they all came and gave us a hand. You never were stuck. Everybody came and helped each other. My daddy would have went and helped the neighbours, and then they would have come and helped us.
And I went out to the dances, different halls, Plaza, Pavilion, King's Arms, McNeil's, Larne. I went to quite a few. I just loved the company and home and all. I loved dancing.
At the harvest time, when the threshing of the corn, the neighbours all gathered up. Mommy and me made dinner and tea for 20 people every. That lasted maybe a day or a day and a half. And when they came in for their dinner, it was like a concert. It was good fun. They told yarns, and you could tell the biggest yarn. It was just a good laugh.
And then I met my boyfriend there at the dance. I met the boyfriend. He danced me. And then he said, well, then we sort of were friends after that, you know. And then he asked to leave me home.
Well, in the winter time, the cows was brought in and the calves was brought in, and you had them to look after. And you carried down the hay, bottled it up and brought it in a bottle, threw it up to the cows. And the horse was to be fed and watered and looked after. And Mommy gathered in, she started in the month of October, and she left in flour and sugar and things that would be needed to help you put through the winter, extra. We had heavy snow a lot of times, and at that time we had to go out with shovels and dig the snow and throw it over the edge. And I was out too helping, and then the days were short, you know. And I remember quite well, they cut the road twice. They cut it, and in a fortnight's time it was felt again. So it was, I had to go out and start again. And there was one neighbour man, my daddy should tell him about, hey, didn't he come, you see, the day before? My daddy said, tell him you didn't come yesterday to help to cut the snow. Sure, he says it'll go away. And so it did.
And there's the more cigarettes. She was so naughty. Her husband played bowls, so always in the break in the dance, I would go over to hear how they had done and talk about bowls. And I bought these more cigarettes. They were big, long, brown cigarettes. And I thought, oh, these out to the club and goes over to Annie Millie and said, Annie says the first words, Edna, why do you smoke in the night? I says, what do you mean, what am I smoking? You're smoking big, long, black or brown cigarettes. I says, Annie, it's marijuana, but don't tell anybody. Well, I knew I would be around the club before, and I thought, I should go and tell her it's not. No, I let her thinking.
Up here, that is a picture of you and Norman. You've got like a pearl necklace on, Phil, and like a white shift dress. And Norman's standing in a suit and a shirt and tie. And you got married at Ballygally Chapel.
Uh-huh.
And your best man was Cedric. And your bridesmaid was Stella.
Uh-huh. My cousin.
And you wore a blue suit with a pink hat.
He was a footballer. Well, not a big, but he played football for Larne. He died when he was 81. But he did all the shopping, the ironing, cooking. I wasn't able to do that. So he did all that. He went down every week and got the goods up. He was very good to me.
Well, and we were, it was the 12th of July day, 12th of July, and the 12th was in Ballymena. And we're all there, and we were standing watching the parade, and this fella comes up and he stopped with us that I knew, and he introduced me to James, and I says to myself, well, that's somebody I would like to get to know. And we met again and after the 12th, and Johnny, he says, you'll come to Glenarm tonight to the dance in the Orange Hall. And I says, right, we'll be there. And so we were, and that was the beginning. And that lasted for 4 years before we got married. Well, I come to live in Carnalbana, and James was a farmer, and we had cows and just the usual farming things. But then he had a tractor, a milking machine, and things were different for me. I had to learn to milk the cows with a milking machine, and it was all different.
And do you know what? See, on Saturday when Denise and Norma come in, you can show them it.
Oh, why? Yeah.
We'll have a good, what do you call it, going over this tonight.
I have brought this lady to look after you. And there's one thing, my darling, I want you to do. You must call this lady mother. To love her you must try.